Welcome to Chemistry with Dr. Z. In this video, I will be talking about different tests for anions. This is part of the chemical analysis topic. So before that, we talked about the different tests for cations, and you can find the link for the video for testing for cations in the description below. In this video, I will be talking about different anions. So anions are these part of your compound which have the negative charge. So the first anion we should be testing for is the carbonate. So the carbonate can be tested for using dilute acids like hydrochloric acid diluted. So when carbonate react with hydrochloric acid, they are bases, they are going to give you a carbon dioxide. And the carbon dioxide that is formed will give you some effervescence or some bubbling. But we also need to test for the carbon dioxide. In order to test for the carbon dioxide, we can pass this carbon dioxide through a solution of lime water, and then carbon dioxide will turn the lime water into a cloudy solution due to the formation of calcium carbonate, which is insoluble. And the reaction for the carbonate and an acid like hydrochloric acid can be seen here. So, for example, sodium carbonate as an aqueous solution with hydrochloric acid will give us carbon dioxide gas, sodium chloride as an aqueous solution, and water as a liquid. The second anion is the different halides, and halides are the chloride, bromides, and iodide. They are the ions of the halogens, which are the group 7 in the periodic table. And we can test for halides by the formation of insoluble salts or precipitate with silver nitrate. In this test, we can first add dilute nitric acid to our solution, which contains the halide ion, and then we're going to add silver nitrate solution. If we have chloride in the solution, chloride will give you a white precipitate of silver chloride, and this is the ionic equation for the reaction between silver and chloride, which gives you silver chloride as a solid or as a precipitate. And then if you have bromide, a cream precipitate will be formed, and the cream precipitate is silver bromide. And this is the ionic equation as well. Remember that silver bromide is going to be a solid. The state here is solid because it's a precipitate. And then finally iodide. Iodide will give you a yellow precipitate with of silver iodide. And this is the ionic equation. Finally, we can also test for sulfate. So sulfate is one of the anion, and we can test for sulfate because barium sulfate is insoluble salt. So you can test for the presence of sulfate in your compound or in your mixture by simply add barium ion to your solution. So first of all, we can add dilute hydrochloric acid to our sample, and then we're gonna add barium chloride solution. A white precipitate will form when the sulfate ion in the solution react with barium because barium sulfate is insoluble and it gives you white precipitate. So the ionic equation is the sulfate as aqueous solution because it's soluble first with the barium which is aqueous because